Hello and welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. Today we talk about how society values education, yes, but they may respect education from a prestigious college even more. Is there even any proof that prestigious universities offer more opportunities and financial footing, or is it just a dream we're bribed to fall into? But before we get into it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you would. Thank you so much for doing that. And don't forget that anything we talk about today, links, information, and a ton more is all found at thecollegeinvestor.com. You can also subscribe to any of our social media. We'd love to get to know you better, and you can find us there too. All right, let's get right to it. Why should you even attend a prestigious school? There are some educators out in the world that would stress that those from a lower socioeconomic background can benefit more from a prestigious college than public schools. Dr. Anastasia Lindo Anderson, CEO of Emerge Fellowship, states this: prestigious colleges often can provide more robust financial aid, allowing students to graduate debt-free or very nearly so, which is huge, while focusing more on their studies rather than having to work entirely or even part-time. Prestigious schools also have much higher graduation rates for first-generation low-income college students because they can receive more individualized services. So Dr. Andrew Sue, he's the president of the College of Charleston, he said this: as a college president and the father of 4 daughters, I understand the kitchen table conversation, and of course the struggle of thinking through prestige versus the pocketbook. Undoubtedly, the top-ranked schools provide wonderful opportunities to their graduates, as do all colleges and universities. There are some pros. Let's take a look at that. Attending a prestigious college, they are these. Number 1, attending a more excellent facility, of course. Most private schools have lovely grounds and up-to-date technology and can afford to upgrade buildings well before they're actually needed. Better networking opportunities is the second thing, too. Many schools have had famous or notable attendees to their school, which can be a sign of better networking opportunities and also better resources to make sure their students launch their careers further. And the third thing, you're just more likely to graduate. A 2022 study published by the National Center for Education Statistics in partnership with the U.S. Department of Education and Institute of Education Sciences found that private schools had a 68% graduation rate over 6 years, while public schools had a 63% graduate rate. For those who finished within 4 years, the numbers became more drastic, with a 33% graduation rate at a public school. Private schools have 55%. Families having to pay higher tuition may make students feel like, they got more skin in the game. Private schools most likely have a smaller class size too, so students can get early intervention or services as needed. Some of the cons, because there is always some cons with every pros list. They can create an exclusionary mindset. So Dr. Sue mentions that attending a prestigious college can create an exclusionary attitude among students when working or dealing with others around them. Superiority complexes are identified as a reaction to a deep feeling of inferiority. While individual psychology says everyone is trying to overcome feelings of inferiority, some may react by working harder to develop skills and collect achievements. To compensate for feeling inferior, they will play up their accomplishments to feel better about themselves. Ever met somebody like that? Attending a prestigious college may aid in this thinking. It doesn't mean you'll necessarily earn more either. Private schools may brag that their graduates earn more, but studies have shown that it's not by very much. Studies have even shown that graduates from a moderately selective college earn less now than in previous years. There are other ways to overcome this gap, such as gaining additional certificates and being strategic with your career. And the third thing, the third con on our list, you can get your degree cheaper elsewhere. Dr. Sue also mentions that your undergraduate education may be the same as a public school, meaning you can get your degree for a fraction of the price elsewhere and might even be able to still live at home, saving money from room and board in the process. So you may be asking, yeah, but, what's so great about a public or community college education anyway? Well, a lot of things, actually. Speaking from experience, I earned an AA to jumpstart my career, I needed to work immediately, and I also paid just less than half of my bachelor's for my degree. Public schools have an equally valuable network and just as many experiences regarding your education as private schools do. An Ivy League education may open certain doors in the short run, but performance in the workplace, not the degree, provides and ensures long-term success and true social mobility. End quote, which was a quote from Dr. Sue. All right, so some of the pros of attending a public college are these. Number one, you can figure out what you want to study without going into debt. It's stated that most college graduates change their major like 3 times during their academic careers. Every time you switch a major, you're most likely to be starting all over again, which not only adds time to your program, but also adds additional college costs. It's easier to find a major you love than one you don't. Spoiler alert, I changed mine 4 times until I figured out something that would stick. Public schools are still a hub of opportunities. Sue says these schools offer study abroad opportunities, internships, undergraduate research mentorships, and close faculty-student relationships just like a prestigious private school does. Some school programs even outrank a private school. Just a quick example, Arizona State University is ranked number 2 for criminal justice programs out of the country, only second to USC Irvine. Getting a better education for a quarter of the price wins every time. It's cheaper. That leads us to our next pro. Classes at a community college or university are typically much lower in cost than private schools. So instead of getting a degree for $120,000, you could walk away with one that only cost you $30,000. Not too shabby. Some cons of attending a public school are bigger class sizes. Yeah, public schools have bigger class sizes just because more students are there, and this can be frustrating when trying to pay attention or even access your teacher for any help. Spots fill up pretty quickly. Despite offering a more comprehensive course catalog than private schools, it can still be challenging to even reserve a place in a class you need to graduate. Upper-level types are more difficult to register for, as most courses are marketed toward those who need introductory classes. So it's also more difficult because upper-level methods are typically only offered once a semester, making it hard to know if they're going to fit into your schedule or not. And it's not always cheaper. Well, we'll take a look at that. So even though public schools offer more opportunities for students to attend classes, it can still be pricey if you're considering an out-of-state school, because out-of-state students just have to pay a lot higher tuition for at least 2 years before they can qualify for the in-state tuition rate, which means more potential to get into a ton of student loan debt. Education is what you make it. That's the bottom line. So deciding between a prestigious school and a public one can be challenging, yes, we know. Tuition rates, course availability, and networking opportunities can make it even more difficult. But one thing you need to know is this. Your education experience is precisely what you make it out to be. Your success is not the result of what college you attend. Instead, it's the result of what opportunities you took advantage of. And if they run short, the ones you aren't afraid to find on your own. And that is our show for today. I hope it was helpful. If you're deciding what school to attend, if you want to dive in a little bit deeper, of course, you can always check out thecollegeinvestor.com. We can help you out a ton about pretty much everything about attending a school and college and student loan debt and all of it. Find it again, thecollegeinvestor.com, and search for us all over social media too, The College Investor, and you'll find us. Thanks again for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.